Morning, guys. Welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project. This is the self-therapeutic multimedia project for me to solve the problems and challenges in my life, as well as a self-improvement process for me to reach the heights and goals and ambitions that I've set for myself. And so today, of course, first of two live streams as usual. What you have before you, what you see is what you get in the title as well. We're also going to have a bunch of photographs. I'll show a few right now so they can see what is in store for today. But mostly the first live stream is going to be covering food, and a lot of food from different areas in life. For instance, from my workplace, you can see the titles on the bottom right hand side right here. It's when I say depth, it's involving food from other people who I shouldn't be taking food from. When we say gifts, it's things from people. It's food from people who have given to me, and I am willing to accept that. So especially we have from my workplace, from my guardians, things that I cooked myself. We also have some photographs, a lot of photographs, at least 25, and we're going to run through all of those things, and also the significance and what they means to me. It's just a way of me for showing my appreciation and thanks, which is actually one of the titles inside one of the titles in the second stream. So that's what we're gonna be covering today in the morning. It's kind of fucked up because if you take a look at my yesterday's live stream, you can tell that I actually want to cover a lot of stuff up there, and we have to cover the food as well as some mail instead. So there's a lot of interruption, as well as the jacket's in a mess. So there's a lot of interruptions. Once again, it was just a really ugly Monday, and I guess I'll have to postpone once again, which is getting to become a worrisome trend. So why don't we just get into an introduction? Our project, self-therapy, multiple profits, all blah, 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 blah. You already heard that at the very beginning. Basically, there are three ways I like to describe three major concepts of the Ahn Rho Project in terms of abstract things, abstract items, sub-series, domains, and analogies. Of course, the Ahn Rho Project is broken down to many different sub-series and domains of life being employment, finance, relationships, caregiving, all that kind of jazz. Just think of all the hundreds of variables at the highest level, of course. Thinking of, say you can break down relationships further into friends and colleagues and staff and your boss and your family and your relatives and so on and so forth. And those would be the sub-variables compared to the higher domains, which would be the relationship itself. Of course, there's finance, employment. You can break all those down to the smallest variables, and the Ahn Rho Project, of course, has sub-series that focuses on any particular niche combination of these domains, and as a whole is really supposed to be, by analogy, a time record for me to look back on maybe 30 years down the road. Another analogy I like to use is to say it's inventory upkeep. So what we have before us today, a bunch of food, is a lot of tracking and just keeping tabs on what comes in and out of my life. What comes in must come out as well, and so it's just showing gratitude, and more than that, of course, just diving into what it is that's inside that is a part of my life. So with that being said, that's a long enough introduction, I believe. If you coming from Facebook or Twitch, wherever you're coming from, welcome. There's even a Korean platform apparently, so 안녕하세요. And so why don't we just dive into it? We have the first thing I want to cover, and we're gonna pull up some photographs. As this is basically food that came from, well, we'll cover this first because it's easy. It's right before me, right? So there's a lot of food that came from my workplace, and one of them is from my colleague, DV. I'll abbreviate her name by DV. She always I'm really, obviously the age gap, I'm more like her son, but the way we always run out this joke, so I call her Aka, and that's basically Sri Lankan or Tamil for being a brother or a sister and that kind of thing. And so anyway, DV brought me not everything inside here, just half of it. You can see that yellow ball. There's a sweet. We also have you see that kind of flowery looking kind of thing. Clearly, DV used some sort of I don't know, crafts. When you're cooking, you have those cookie casts. I think she used a snowflake and then did that. But usually, what it is, it's murku, and I don't know if you want. It's a sweet savory kind of thing, and it's been casted into this snowflake form. Typically, it's just all coiled up. There's also fruit cake in there with some peanuts, chocolate cake, sorry, and a yellow sweet. And she put it inside this box. Now, that's something from her. And again, just a very family-oriented company, and I am eternally grateful for them. And Devi is one of those people who really has played a significant part in my life. Coming from a background where I have nobody and nothing, and the only people that I did have would constantly break me in half. And so I really much appreciate these sorts of people and things. It's just food, but for me it means so much because I remember not getting anything for birthdays or Christmas or anything like that. So this is incredible for me. Of course, the rest of the stuff here that's inside the box that I said is not from her. Comes also from my workplace, the manager, the family. It's a family-owned business, right? So I'll just say the B family, amazing, amazing family, incredible. I suppose you could say that when people are well off, they're nicer, but it doesn't really change the fact that they are still nice, and they've been very generous, and they're very hardworking, responsible individuals. They're not the kind of managers who just kick back and let their staff do the work. They're always constantly, you see them literally packing and working intensely with the staff, whether it's labor, heavy labor. They're all trained, and there was a time you can tell when someone's basically when someone's just a slacker, and when someone's actually had to run everything themselves before. It really shows who's been living life on easy mode, and who has actually had everything together and has raised a family and is a responsible, disciplined individual. You can tell. And basically the B family is like that. So it's a really family-run business. Basically, they came out here, and they always pay. They always put the tab for this Christmas gift, any sort of celebrations. They always put the tab for. And so they've had all this food here, and I feel awful because I haven't been, again, me coming from a background, just I had a low income, socioeconomic status, all that kind of stuff, domestic household issues, poverty, all that kind of bullshit, and my own guardians being third world country people, refugees. The point is basically I feel like, there's a lot of times where I just look at myself and I think I'm nowhere near where I need to be. I've let them down and disappointed them in so many ways. So when they give me these sorts of things, and my colleagues, I didn't want to take any food, but my colleagues in my department said, why are she went downstairs and she grabbed the food. She said, no, you're going to take the food. And I would, I guess it's not really appropriate to say no when someone's offering you their kindness. And so she just put this whole plate of food next to my suit, which we'll get to in a second, right over there. So that's what's actually mixed inside here. You see these like candies, like these chewy candies. We got this clementine or tangerine. We have these pizzelle waffles right here. Ooh, the contrast is really bad on that. Mixed in with again, there's stuff from DV, right? The chocolate cake. We got the murku and that sweet ball. But we also have and it tastes kind of like it's like a ginger snap kind of thing. But we have pizzelle waffles. We have some cookies which I finished already. Some milk. Chocolate cookies, just a lot of sweets because it's Christmas, right? And then you have these biscuits here. There's a whole cake. My goodness, I thought I wasn't going to be able to finish it because I brought my own lunch, which is right in here, by the way. So this is what I made. So you see in the title, it does say cook. So there's not really cooking. I just, like I said, took 2 bagels. Take 1 bagel, split it in half, put some ham inside, chia seeds, and dehydrated onions. So just very convenient, and take that to work. And that's basically what I had for work yesterday. I was gonna eat something like this. It's not bad because I don't have to eat that much, again, because I have the supplements. And why don't I turn back here and just show you? So the supplements right here. It's from there's one from Ensure and Glucerna, if you know, that's a really cheap one from Walmart. I also get the more expensive kind because I'm in this business myself. Usana's, Help It Plus, and so on and so forth. So these supplements, needless to say, antioxidant, vitamins, minerals, complete, along with liver detox, combined with this what was it, the bagel. That's basically my lunch. HEPA plus, sorry, not detox, just for maintenance and support. There's no treatment or prevention or cure for any disease like that we're trying to do for nutrition. We just basically maintain and support your health so that it doesn't go on a decline. So it's really if anything, you want to say prevention. It's not really prevention. It's more like to stop you from degenerating over time. But basically, that's the kind of stuff that I would bring to work. And instead, I had all this stuff here. I finished like half of it, and I couldn't. There's an apple here. I don't know if I'm gonna eat it. It looks kind of bruised. Doesn't really matter. Again, everyone's following COVID-19 protocols, of course, social distancing, wearing gloves when they're handling food. So don't worry about that. And life. You can't really just lock yourself up and and just shut yourself out from life just because because of certain challenges come along the way. You have to face them. You have to face them. Just make sure that you're cautious and you're careful and you do your due diligence. Maintain those guidelines and so on and so forth, which isn't a problem usually up here. Right now in Canada, we are having a surge, but still, needless to say, we have this peanut pure butter biscuit, and like I said, there's this huge cake with some cream in it, and just like wow, it's just. I felt awful, but I felt also very happy and grateful that they're still being patient with me, and I would never be as patient with I am myself. So with that being said, that's that. So that's a whole lot of stuff down here. You see on top, depth, eatery, cook, Christmas gifts. So it's all Christmas stuff. So I'm going to show you the photographs of some stuff that I missed here. So here is the workplace stuff. So the waffles and here's the apple, right, with the chew. Now this one here is a big miss. You can see I just had a nice photograph here with the cookies that pull them away. Some more photographs of right here. That's a French pastry on the side right there. The cinnamon pastries tend to look like that. And this photograph right here. So I need to talk about this in the second live stream, but they kind of spilled out on my jacket, so it was disgusting. And you can see it's actually not that pleasant to look at. But that's something we'll get to in the second live stream. My jacket's right over there. It's not really a jacket. It's more like an entire goddamn suit. Think of like the traffic control officers in minus 25 degrees Celsius outside. So that's basically what I do. More photographs. This one's a nice one right here, showing DV's cake. All right, this is the thing from my colleague that I was talking about, who I was talking about, and of course some really nasty photographs here that don't really add up to the par. Again, Muraku right there, flowery looking, snowflake looking. She cast it up like that. And again, here's another photograph. I'll keep that for the second live stream. And then of course we have the things that I cooked myself, which is really a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't show yesterday that I should have. And so I'm going to magnify this a little bit. So obviously, like I said, I make my own bagels, the ham, all that kind of stuff. And then I use that, you see that on the top left right here, that pizza packaging. I would store the food in there. I oftentimes just reuse food packaging to make my breakfast, and I guess that's an environmentally kind of thing, but you don't have to go all out. I'm not going to crucify you if you don't do what I do, right? I think there's a whole lot of that kind of idiotic stuff going around in the world anyways, where people are trying to force each other into being socially responsible or stuff like that. Like, god damn it, all right? There's a time when it's just nonsense. A lot of people trying to control the way other people act. And finally, the last few photographs here, like I said, cooking here. This is stuff that is, you see the title says depth. So that's a nasty ass photograph. That's so blurry. But here, all right. So basically cauliflower, shrimp, Chinese style stir fry with beans. This is stuff that is depth, that are class 2 food from my caregivers that I really should not be touching, but I did eat anyways. Some more stuff, takeout and eatery. So you can see eatery inside the title. So this is depth food. Like I said, class 2 items are things for my caregivers, my guardians. Well, I'm the caregiver now because they're having severe illness, but that's all right. That's my responsibility. And so we have this salty yingokai. That's what we call them in Cantonese. And so that's some takeout that they also purchased that I really felt I should eat. Last item, I believe, photographs of egg tarts. So you can see right here, the egg tarts, Portuguese tarts. Again, the barcode right there is just showing you the pricing from T&T Supermarket, and I really like the Portuguese tarts. But anyways, I didn't feel comfortable just eating it without covering it on stream as well. Once again, things from my caregivers. I think at this point I can call quits for the stream. Thank you for tuning in for the first live stream. The second live stream, we're going to cover the jacket, the mess, but also mail. So you can see the bottom right hand side, mess, mail, books from university, volunteering. See you in the next one. This is Ahn Rho, 10 minutes right here on these platforms. This is Ahn Rho. Ciao.